Stay Tuned Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of a drunken degenerate watching the National Football League.
And welcome everybody to Stay Tuned Sports. Your boy King hanging out with you here on this Sunday night, this final Sunday night of the NFL regular season. And we've got a game for you. It is for the AFC North Championship. The Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, live from Heinz Field / Acrisure Stadium. Gotta learn how to take a breath. They're in Pittsburgh, and it is going to be the final game. As all the other playoff games, everything, all seedings, the matchups are set and ready to go. This one is to see who will welcome in the hottest team in the NFL right now, the 9 straight game winning Houston Texans, next weekend for Super Wildcard Weekend. That is what this game is here to determine. Does Houston go to M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore and Charm City, get a couple crab cakes on the way? Or do they go up there to Pittsburgh? Do they go up there with the Yenzas to Primanti Brothers? The Primanti Brothers, that stupid sandwich place everybody eats there. Get a couple icy lights there and have a good time in Pittsburgh at Acrisure Stadium. We're going to find out here in just a couple hours. Again, my name is King. This is Stay Tuned Sports. Like anything about this channel? Don't know why you would, but if you do, please go ahead. Hit that like, hit that share, and of course, as always, hit that subscribe button, as we are only 1,000 people. Well, no, we're less than 1,000, but we're trying to reach 1,000. I'm sorry, my brain is skipping. It's the last game of the year. What do you want me to do? Anyway, if you wouldn't mind, hitting the like button, hitting the share button, letting the world know that this channel exists is big. There we go. And then, of course, hitting the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't done so already, as we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much. Again, if you'd like to help us out a little bit more directly, we have a link for our donation station and our merch store in the top of the chat and in the description below. Chat room is open. Come in, say hi, say hello, say how you're doing. Once you're in the chat, make sure that you click on the live chat, not the top chat. There's a little toggle there on the top. If you're on the desktop, I believe it's upper left. If you are on the on your phone or anything, I believe it's in the top right, from what I understand. Either way, just make sure you're in live chat so you can see everybody's messages. Like Crafty, who's in the chat with us. Lloyd is in the chat with us. Lloyd says, well, folks, that was a win, a sloppy one, but it's a win. Lloyd, our resident Lions fan, as the Lions go out with a win here. And they will be out of the playoffs. But again, ending on a winning note, as a team who did that today with the Giants. Oh my God, the Giants! They ruined their draft pick. Take your draft picks and shove them up your ass. I don't give a shit. We won. We beat the Cowboys. That's a way to end a goddamn season. A disappointing season, but a good ending is a good ending. A happy ending is always fun. Ask any Asian massage parlor. So let me pull this up here. So now when it comes to the playoffs, the AFC is set, obviously all but for this game, but we know that the Chargers, they will be playing the Patriots. Chargers will be traveling to New England. The Bills, they will be traveling to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. And in this game, the Texans, they will be traveling to either Baltimore or Pittsburgh to take on the winner of this game. And for the NFC, all that is already set, done, dusted. We know all that there. Seahawks, they get the bye. By the way, the Broncos got the bye there in the AFC with their win over the Chargers, which, again, they only had 1 touchdown and 4 field goals against the Trey Lance and the Chargers backups. Color me not impressed. Just want to point that out there. Anyway, you're going to have the Packers. They're going to be traveling to Soldier Field. We've got a divisional. The oldest rivalry in the NFL is going to be hitting us there for Wild Card Weekend. The Packers at the Chicago Bears. Then you're going to have the 49ers. They're going to travel to Philadelphia. And again, the Niners, they were a win away from being the number one overall seed in the NFC and having a straight line to the Super Bowl, which was happening in their house. Instead, now they have to travel and go all the way to Philadelphia. But, boy, if you're the Eagles, losing to the Redskins today, you had a chance to play the Packers, a very banged-up, injured, and not playing well Packers team. Instead, you're going to get Brock Purdy, George Kittle, and the San Francisco 49ers. That's going to be an interesting matchup for them. And, of course, now you have the Rams taking on the NFC South champion Panthers. Thanks to the Falcons beating the Saints today, the Panthers win the NFC South and get the number 4 seed. They will be taking on the Rams. So a rematch of that Thanksgiving weekend game where the Rams went to Charlotte and lost to everybody's surprise. Lloyd says, calling ELS says, I called that rematch happening in the playoffs. It's going to happen. A good position, but not a good team. So here we go. Baltimore, they are going to get the opening kickoff here. And we are going to be underway here. Got about at the 6. Return to the 20, to the 25, to the 30. Returned up to the 34-yard line, and that is where they will start. Are we starting with a flag already? We already have an instant flag. Holding on the Ravens. So this is yet another game where there is a first flag. We have a flag before we even start the goddamn game. ELS in the chat. Hi, ELS. How you doing? How do you feel, ELS, knowing that the Packers, now traveling, we know they are going to Soldier Field to take on the Bears, who, again, where the Packers aren't playing great, but neither are the Bears right now from what we saw in this game today against the Lions. Derrick Henry, oh my God, Derrick Henry to the 40, to the 50, to the 40, down and out. He's somewhere at the 37. Oh my God. But we have a flag down. Cam Hayward down on the field, injured already. 47-yard run there for Derrick Henry, depending on the flag. Illegal blindside block on the Ravens. That's going to negate the run. Oh, Zay Flowers called for the illegal blindside block. So that long run absolutely negated. Oh, no. Terry McCauley, the referee, the officiating expert, is saying that's not what happened. Well, we kind of saw that in, I think it was a Chargers game or something. Yeah. And Cam Hayward had his own guy run into him. And he gets hurt there. So now, okay, so it doesn't negate the whole run. They just called it a foul from the spot. Is that what we're doing here? So either way, Baltimore gets a big gain. They get it down to the 41-yard line. 2nd down and 7 after a 3-yard run there from Derrick Henry. Crafty says, Zebras are trying to bail out Rodgers already. Isaiah Likely is going to be about 2 yards short. No, they're going to say 1 yard short there. 3rd and 1 coming up from the 50-yard line for the Ravens. Crafty says, how the F does a team play Tua twice, Flacco, Cousins, Nick Trubisky, and whoever the Browns start in the same season and not get a pick? I believe he's referring to the fact that earlier on he has a Crafty who made this particular comment, said on the same day that Garrett sets a new sack record, the Jets finish a full 17-game season without a pick. So we've had the peak of the defensive. Oh, that's going to be Lamar Jackson rushes for it. Keeps it first down for the Ravens as they move the sticks. Yeah, we had the peak of defensive performance and the absolute worst. 2 records on the opposite sides there. And the Jets record can't be broken. It can't be broken. You can't have a team like the only thing is somebody can do is equal it. You can't break it. Don't worry, Lloyd. We'll get you. We'll get you into the hockey. Don't worry. First down and 10. Derrick Henry for a yard. 2nd and 9 on the Steelers' 44-yard line. 2nd down and 9 coming up here. ELS says, I knew that we were going to be playing the Bears, so let's hope we can try to do something against Chicago, but I have little hope. I mean, like I said, the Bears are a very inconsistent team, as we saw in the last 2 weeks with San Francisco, where they look like they can just go and shoot it out with anybody, and then against the Lions, they struggle terribly and lose the game. So you got to really, you don't know who you're going to get when it comes to the Bears, ELS. So I would say don't give up hope. I hope they make the 18-game season. I really do. 3rd and 3. Justice Hill is not going to get anywhere. He's going to get to the line of scrimmage. And that is it. So 4th and 3 now for the Ravens from the Steelers' 38-yard line. They're going to go for it as they're kind of in that in-between zone of a little too far for a field goal, a little too close for a punt. So we'll see. You do an 18-game season, 18 games, 20-week season, 2 byes for each team. Oh, wide open! And that's going to be a touchdown for the Ravens. Oh, my God. He couldn't get more open. Devontae Walker just took the top off of the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. And just like that, 4 minutes and, 6 seconds into the game on this opening drive, the Ravens take a 6-0 lead over the Pittsburgh Steelers early on in the AFC North Championship game. Yeah, I'll say this, Lloyd. I hate the fact that it's an odd number of games. Like the ADHD, tism part of me is just like, yeah! Because that's the other problem, too. Nobody can be straight up 500 unless you got a tie like the Packers did. And the Packers could have finished 8-1. But now you either finish 9-8 or 8-9. And it's like, sometimes I like that nice evenness. It's got to be nice and even. So give me the 18 games. Give me the 20 weeks. You're able to go ahead and do that. And by doing that, then you change the schedule, get everything around it, and you have the Super Bowl on, President's Day weekend there in February. So then you have some people, especially school kids, and I think that's the important part, is that school kids will have the next day off because it's a federal holiday. So you have the school kids have a day off so they can actually stay up and watch the Super Bowl. Because, the Super Bowl used to be a day game. I don't know if anybody remembers that. The Super Bowl used to be a day game. And then they switched it to primetime. We got to get more viewers in primetime. Actually, not more viewers in prime time. You get more money from the advertisers in prime time. But instead of sending your kids to bed early or having them take a sick day for school when they're not really sick just to stay up and watch the game, there you go. It's a way to get the kids to watch the NFL and be part of it. By the way, the Ravens did make the extra point. So it is 7-0 Baltimore over the Steelers, and now the Steelers will get the ball back on their first attempt to see what they do here. There has never been a team without a pick since the NFL started keeping stats on interceptions all the way back in 1933. So there you go. So obviously there might have been teams that didn't have interceptions before that. You'd probably have to go back and see how they kept those stats and look through game logs and see if anybody did anything. Again, that's going to be really hard, though, and I'm sure somebody someday will go ahead and look through that. But as we stand right now, interceptions were an actual stat being kept since 1933. Not a single team since 1933 has gone an entire season without an interception. The New York Jets just did that. And not only that, but they were playing the Buffalo Bills backups the entire game, basically, and still got absolutely mollywopped. $35-8. The Jets lost today, by the way. Just want to point that out there. While they were playing, now you could say, well, they had their backup in too because everybody was injured, and I get that too. But the Jets' defense is so bad. Steve, Dallas Cowboys in the chat, says, Kong, since this probably could be Rodgers' final match in his career, what are the moments that you will remember him for? Obviously, the discount double check celebration he always did. That's a good one. The fact he banged a couple of Hollywood starlets. What was the one that he did not too long ago? She was cute. She used to hang out with Taylor Swift a lot. You mean on a football field? I mean, yeah, you got a couple. By the way, kickoff return to the 37-yard line for the Steelers, 1st and 10 for Rodgers coming up here. Obviously, winning the Super Bowl. That's a big one. He's had a lot of great. He's probably the most talented quarterback I've watched in my lifetime. And I watched Dan Marino. I watched Joe Montana. I watched Phil Simms. I watched John Elway. Like, I had all these guys there. We got a flag coming in here. But I think Aaron Rodgers, by far, is the most talented quarterback the NFL's ever had. Face mask on the Ravens. And that's an iffy call. But if you touch a face mask, they're supposed to throw the flag, so I guess that counts. So that's 15 yards on top of a 2-yard gain there for Warren. But because of that, now puts the ball at the Ravens' 46-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Steelers. Crafty in the chat says, I always remember him squandering one of the best offenses in history of the 2011 season in the playoffs. Is that him, though? Like I said, when I look at that, like, I think back to that to the NFC Championship game against the Buccaneers where LaFleur took him off the field and went for the field goal, which made no sense at the time instead of going for it on 4th down. Like, I just think Crafty says the refs are going to flag Rodgers way down. Why do you think that, Crafty? Why do you think the NFL is going to be up Rodgers' ass and not Lamar's ass? Rodgers throws that ball away. It's going to be 3rd and 11 coming up here for the Steelers. White says, I see Rodgers sticking around one last season. I don't know. And if he does, should have snapped the ball there. Baltimore went off sides. Rodgers, deep ball, throws, incomplete. No flag down the field. Calvin Austin, the intended receiver, and we've got a Raven down. Is that Nate Wiggins? He's very slow to get up off the turf. He does eventually walk off here. So 4th and 11, and the Steelers are going to have to punt. They're already down 7-0. The Ravens have a chance to get a very big, very early lead here in this game, and they could start trying to put the dagger to the Steelers before we even get into the second quarter. We kind of figured that was coming there, ELS, but breaking news. We've got breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, to steal a sign from a bit from Steve Lookner there from Agenda Free TV. Breaking news! Breaking news! Breaking news! Raheem Morris has been fired as the Atlanta Falcons head coach. Raheem Morris out of a job in Atlanta. 2 years there of underwhelming performances, and he is out of here. So the Falcons will be in the market for a new head coach. Lloyd in the chat says, King, any city's getting a franchise in the future within the country? You mean in the NFL? I don't think so. I think the NFL is happy where they are. If they're going to expand, at this point, it feels like if the NFL is going to expand, it will be internationally somehow. But I think as far as here, I think the NFL is perfectly fine with what they have here. So I don't see that. I don't see that happening. Like people talk about St. Louis maybe getting a team again. We'll see after the lawsuit if that'll ever happen. But even if that were to happen, I feel like that would have to be a relocation more than a that would definitely be a relocation more than an expansion. I don't see where the NFL would expand, and if they were to expand, they would probably want to expand by 2 to try to keep everything as even as possible. Crafty says Kansas is about to get a franchise. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. As the Kansas City Chiefs are moving from Kansas City to Kansas City. They're moving literally like 3 miles west, but they're moving from Kansas City, Missouri to Kansas City, Kansas. Hopefully they get a better looking stadium than what they kind of showed as the placeholder there, because it looks like ass. Well, St. Louis, back in the 90s, before they got the Rams, they put an offer in for an expansion team. They were going to call them St. Louis Stallions. But that didn't come through. Henry's going to get a yard. Hayward takes him down on the stop. 2nd and 9 for the Ravens from the 15-yard line. No, there was talks there about the CFL and XFL merging, but that didn't happen. But now that you have the CFL changing their rules to become a lot more NFL-like, they have a regular 100-yard field now. They shrunk the end zones down from 20 to 15 yards each. Hand off to Henry. Henry's going to be about a yard short of the first down. 3rd and 1 coming up. Here's the thing, Crafty. I I don't think I kind of agree with my buddy Chip over from the Rubber Room Discord. I don't think that the Steelers will ever fire Tomlin. I feel like that'll have to be a legitimate mutual parting of the ways, not just we're firing you, but we're going to say we're mutually parting. It's going to have to be a legitimate mutual parting of the ways. Henry's going to bowl his way there for 3 yards and a first down. Ball spotted at the 26-yard line. 1st and 10, Ravens move the chains. That would be interesting. Like, I'll tell you what. I wouldn't mind continuing the franchise legacy of, like, the Toronto Argonauts by absorbing them into the NFL. I'd say if I was going to take in 2 teams from the CFL to put in the NFL from our silly neighbors from the north, Lamar is going to look, throw, that is bounced around. Zay Flowers tried to get that, and it's going to fall incomplete. Could have been caught, could have been intercepted, but instead it is dropped. 2nd and 10. Which says the CFL changing rules to the NFL rules is not good. Yeah, they kind of made the Rouge kind of a non-play. They've I think the field is still a little bit wider, but again, they got rid of it. They got rid of the 55-yard line. It is now a straight 100-yard field. And I think you still have to line up a full yard off of the ball. They still have the you can have the one man in forward motion rule, that kind of thing. Lamar lofts, throws, that's dropped. Oh no! He had him open, and instead it is dropped. Going to be 3rd and 10. Oh, we got a flag down. Hold on. What is this, Mr. Official? They're going to say personal foul, roughing the pass of the officials already in the pocket of Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. As we could see here, Crafty, they're moving them down the field, are the officials. Since you wanted to say that about the Steelers, we could say that about this too. Oh, they're going to say it's a low hit. You can't, just come on. I was going to say that should be a penalty on Baltimore for tripping, but instead they call roughing the passer on the Steelers, gives a free 15 to the Ravens, move them up to the 41. Hand off to Derrick Henry. He's going to get a gain of 3-ish on that one. 2nd and 10. ELS in the chat says, well, we know the teams that the Packers are playing next year. At home, the Packers will obviously be playing Minnesota, Detroit, and Chicago, their division rivals. They will also play Atlanta, Carolina, Buffalo, Miami, Dallas, and the Houston Texans. On the road, they'll be playing their division opponents, obviously, and then they will also play the Saints, the Buccaneers, the Patriots, the Jets, and the Rams on the road. 1-yard run there for Henry. Goes from 2nd and 7 to 3rd and 6. Baltimore has the ball on their own 45-yard line. They need 5 yards in order to move the chains. Can they do it? We're going to find out here in a moment. Well, I think if you were going to do something like that, to bring in 2 teams, whether they're expansion, whether they're from the CFL, no matter what it is, you would have to maybe look at doing either a realignment or and down goes Lamar. That's going to be a sack down at the 31-yard line, and the Steelers are going to get the ball back here.
But too bad your ass got sacked.
Lloyd, first of all, how dare you? Second of all, the Toronto Argonauts, especially the Argonaut ship, is an amazing logo. I will hear nothing bad about the Toronto Argonauts. Winnipeg Blue Bombers, great uniforms. No flag. Austin, he's going to return the ball up to about the 26-yard line. It's going to be good for about an 11-yard return on the punt. It was a 53-yard punt, an 11-yard return, and the Steelers will have 1st and 10 with 4:59 remaining in the first quarter. Ravens 7, Steelers nothing. That's not that was their helmet. I like the A shield was good. The A shield was good. But that's why that's like saying, oh, well, the Packers logo sucks. Packers helmet sucks. Bears have a C on their helmet. They suck. They don't. But the Argos have here, I'll bring it up. No, they still have the ship. They brought the ship back, I think it was last year or the year before. This is the Argonauts' current helmet. I just posted the link in the chat for their current helmet. This is what they have. That's a pretty cool goddamn logo. I'm sorry, I like that Argonauts logo. That's a good helmet. That's a sweet helmet, you might say. Raheem Morris, as we mentioned before, fired as the Atlanta Falcons head coach. So the Falcons, the Giants, and the Titans, 3 teams right now currently looking for a head coach. Sure, we will have some more in the coming days and or weeks. ELS, thank you very much. I was actually trying to find that, but thank you so much for bringing that up. The New York Giants, their opponents next season, obviously at home, they'll be playing the Redskins, the Cowboys, and the Eagles. They will also be playing at home the Cardinals, the Jaguars, the Niners, the Titans, the Saints. Hey, Pecan! Finally to get you at home this time instead of down at the Dome. And the Cleveland Browns. On the road, we'll play the Redskins, Cowboys, and Eagles, of course. We're playing the Texans, Irish, taking you guys on there. The Indianapolis Colts, sorry, Paul. The Rams, the Seahawks, and the Detroit Lions. How you doing, Lloyd? We'll have that game. That'll be fun. So we got a lot of rivalry games coming up next year. No Giants Packers. So me and ELS will not be rivalrying it up next year. But I get the rivalry up against Paul with the Colts, with Pecan and the Saints, with Lloyd and the Lions. Oh, the Falcons have also relieved of duty General Manager Terry Fontenot. Fontenot is out as well, so the Falcons are cleaning house. 2-yard pass there from Rodgers to Gainwell. That's only going to be at 3rd and 6 on the 29-yard line. Steelers trying to avoid their second straight 3rd and out. 3 and out, sorry, with a 3rd and 6. Rodgers saying, big belly, big belly. That's very rude of you, Rodgers. Why would you say that about me? I know I'm fat. I'm trying to lose weight. Rodgers to Gainwell out of the backfield. And that's going to be a 1st down for the Steelers. Kenneth Gainwell gets 7 yards on 3rd and 6. Lloyd says, will the Giants rehire Daboll? God, that, as silly as it sounds, that sounds like something that the Giants would do. MVS sighting here. That's going to be a 6-yard pass on 1st down. Makes it 7-4. Marquez Valdez Scantling with the reception. Now on their 42-yard line. Have to get to the 46 for a first down. Rodgers. This is going to be a handoff here. Good for a yard. That is it. ELS in the chat says, I'm going to make a prediction. He says, we will have another head coach fired before this game ends. That could be. Will it be? What's his face from Cleveland? Stefanski. I think Stefanski might be gone. Yeah, apparently Mike McDaniels is staying in Miami from what the reports we have from Diana Rossini. By the way, 3rd and 3, only a 1-yard gain to Gainwell, and it's going to be 4th and 2. Oh, they're going to say 4th and 1. They're going to, boy, that's a generous spot if they're giving him one. It's going to be a long one. On the 45-yard line are the Steelers. They are staying on the field as of now. I don't know, because, again, remember we all said how bad the Dolphins were, Second half of the year, boy, the Dolphins look good, especially once they got rid of Tua. They're going to do a sneak. I don't think they got there. And it is Ravens ball. Oh, by the way, I never switched over to I thought I had done that. I did not, but it doesn't matter now because it's Ravens ball, 1st and 10 from the Steelers, 45. The Steelers go for it. Connor Hayward took the snap. Cameron Hayward tried to push him through, and it did not work. Zach Taylor, again, a lot of the Bengals players were vouching for him, including Joe Burrow, so we'll see how that goes. If that makes a difference to Mike Brown. Baltimore has 66 rushing yards. The Steelers have 3. Just to let you know how this game is going early on. Derrick Henry gets it down to the 41-yard line. That's a 4-yard gain, 2nd and 6. Derrick Henry's going to pull that down. He runs on 2nd and 6, gets the first down and more. And that's going to be a first down as we are coming close to the end here of the first quarter. 49 seconds and counting remaining. 14 yards for Derrick Henry on that carry. Gets it all the way down to the Steelers' 27-yard line. Keaton Mitchell with the carry. Gets about 4 yards. Brings it down to the Pittsburgh Steelers 23. And that is going to end the first quarter. All Baltimore so far as they have the ball and they are continuing down the field here. $7-0 Baltimore. Second quarter will start with them on the 23-yard line of the Steelers facing a 2nd and 6. By the way, Terry Fontenot, at his time as Atlanta's general manager, these are his first-round picks. At number 4, he picked Kyle Pitts. That, unfortunately, did not ever really work out. In 2022, he picked Drake London. Serviceable, but at number 8, I don't know. Number 23, Bijan Robinson, also at number 8 in 2023. Bijan, obviously a great talent. If they would have used him more, maybe that's probably also why you had Raheem Morris fired. Then in 2024, with the number 8 pick, so 3 straight number 8 picks here, they picked Michael Penix Jr., which everybody always scratched their head about, but I legitimately think that was a good pick for them to make at that time. In 2025, they had 2 picks in the first round at 15 and at 26. Both were defensive players, Jalen Walker and James Pierce. Atlanta's new GM is not going to have a first-round pick in 2026, so that is something to keep an eye on. Yeah, but like again, it's hard to find. I don't blame Stefanski for what's going on in Cleveland. Cleveland's problem is straight up from their front office and their owner. Their owner is terrible, and their front office just makes just the god-awful worst decisions. None of that is on Stefanski. Again, Stefanski made magic happen with the Browns the last couple of years there. When the Browns made the playoffs with Joe Flacco and we're putting things together there, I mean, Stefanski had Coach of the Year twice. There's a reason why. He shined up. He had shit and shined it up. You know, they say you can't polish a turd. He polished that big Cleveland Brown turd as good as he could. I know, ELSNs, people will still make excuses for him. Shedeur Sanders, rookie season, 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and a 3-4 record. Again, I'm not going to say I'm giving up on a young quarterback early, but also we got to stop pretending that he's the second coming of Christ and that it's just nobody's giving him a chance. He needs to learn to change his game and play a better game. That's what needs to happen. I agree, Crifty. He'll probably go back to coordinator job for a year or two, I would imagine. But 3rd and 5 for Lamar. Steelers getting pressure on him. He's going to roll out to the right, and he's going to get tackled out of bounds and back to about the line of scrimmage. So no gain. 4th and 5 from the Pittsburghs. 22. I'm sorry, I completely missed that. Hi, Taylor. We had a chance to have Taylor on here for a while, and I missed it. That's my fault. So Ravens going to try for a field goal and a 10-point lead here. The snap, the hold, the kick. It is. It was a little wonky, but it goes through. Field goal for the Ravens as they take themselves a 10-0 lead over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Lloyd says the Browns owners are worse than the Lions of the 2000s, I would say, you know, it's. Who would you say is worse? Haslam there, old Jimmy Haslam there and his Flying J, or Woody Johnson with the Jets, or I think Tepper's got himself out of there now. I think Tepper is learned to relax a bit. Stephen Ross with the Dolphins, perhaps. I think I would put up there as maybe one of the worst owners. Lloyd says here, I'm not saying it's his fault, but the Browns, being the Browns, they will chase out anybody with any sort of that have any sort of reputation or reputable people. Whether it be defensive coordinators, head coaches, special teams, offensive coordinators, etc. I don't disagree with that. ELS here, beginning with some more stuff here. Former Giants head coach Brian Daboll is being eyed by Tom Brady as a top name for the Raiders offensive coordinator. Per Pro Football Talk there, an old communist Mike Florio. Brady is interested in forming a Patriots reunion with Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores as head coach. That could be. Flores being head coach there in Vegas, I think, would make sense. And I think Daboll as offensive coordinator, as long as Daboll's not the head guy, kind of the same with Robert Saleh. I think Saleh is maybe, if not the best, one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. I just don't trust him as a head coach. Leave him somewhere as a DC. Same with Daboll. If he's an OC, I think you got something really good there. Just don't let him be a head coach. Grathy says Panthers making the playoffs took some heat off of Tepper for the time being, but again, he's kind of he took a step back. He stopped doing all the weird shit, like where he was knocking people's hats off in restaurants and he was, throwing drinks on the fans. Obviously, like he took a step back, took assessment of himself, stopped doing the weird, crazy shit, and again, he's let his football people run the team instead of thinking he's a Jerry Jones, and because of that, look what's happened. Kick is going to be caught at about the 3-yard line, return to the 15, to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, to the 40, to the 45 goes Gainwell, and the Steeler, never mind, there's a flag down, so if there's any kind of play, any kind of decent play, no matter what happens, the officials got to get their nose in it. It's the last game of the year, so they got to get their goddamn noses in it. Holding Steelers during the return, so that's going to negate a great return and anything exciting happening. Thanks a lot, you piece of shit. Fuck the refs. Hoodies and T-shirts available over at the Stay Tuned Sports merch store, bit.ly/staytunedmerch, bit.ly/staytunedmerch. All the shirts come pre-pixelated, so you won't break any obscenity laws in your local area. You can get hoodie or T-shirt available now. bit.ly/staytunedmerch, or go to the link in the top of the chat or the description below this video. They're not going to get rid of Dan Campbell, Lord. That's not going to happen. If that does happen, I will be shocked. And I will also be running to East Rutherford to the Quest Center and banging on the door, demanding to speak with John Mara to make sure that he hires Dan Campbell goddamn immediately. Hand off to Warren here on 1st and 10 from the 25. 2 yards? 3 yards? What are they going to call there? 2 yards, 2nd and 8. Crafty says the refs don't want anything upstaging them. Not on the last game of the year. Can't upstage the refs. Not on this stage. Are you kidding me? Look at me. Look at me. I am the captain now. We got another handoff for half a yard. If that running game not working for the Steelers, crowd in Pittsburgh getting antsy, getting ready to boo. We got some boo birds out on Pittsburgh already. Frustration building. 3rd and 7. The Steelers offense is not doing anything. Down 10-0. Rodgers takes the snap on 3rd and 7. He's got time, throws. Gainwell catches, good for the first down to the 40-yard line. 1st and 10. The Steelers, they move the ball, 12-yard gain. ELS in the chat says former Colts quarterback Phillip Rivers is being viewed as a potential head coach candidate this particular hiring cycle, and the current belief is that Rivers will get at least one opportunity to interview, possibly more, per Ian Rappaport at Rap Sheet there on the good old Twitter/X machine. I agree with Brandon Purder. Nobody beats Goff until Goff decides to beat himself. So Warren gets the pass out of the backfield, past the 50 into Baltimore territory. First down. Jalen Warren with a 17-yard passing play. And again, first down from the Baltimore 43 for the Steelers. So the Steelers getting a little bit of momentum here. That was kind of a tip pass thing. That really wasn't Goff's fault there. Crafty says, remember when the Ravens knew how to tackle, like 3 downs ago? Yes, the Ravens have been very good at tackling in this game so far. Rodgers, looks like they got a big ball play. Oh, he had a man wide open and missed him. He overthrowed MVS. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that was to Jonnu Smith. Jonnu Smith was the intended receiver. Oh, he's so open, and it's just a overthrow by. You don't see that from Aaron Rodgers. Second and 10. Rodgers steps back, looks, throws over the middle. That's going to be caught for 5 yards. 3rd and 5 upcoming. They say only 4 yards. Never mind. 3rd and 6 upcoming. Crafty says a Rodgers throw. No, see, that's the thing. A Rodgers throw is usually right on target, 75 yards down the field with the flick of a wrist. The fact that that was so misjudged by Rodgers is an anomaly. That is an anomaly when it comes to Aaron Rodgers. Thank you, ELS. I'm going to read that in a second. 3rd and 6 for Rodgers and the Steelers. He's going to step up and pull it down. He's going to run it himself. No, he's not. And then he stopped right at the line of scrimmage. So it's going to be 4th and 6 from the 39. I don't know if Boswell's got that kind of leg. So Steelers are going to go for a field goal here. They're putting Boswell out there 57 yards from the logo. Snap, hold, kick is up, and Boz, he doesn't disappoint. Everything else in Pittsburgh might disappoint, but Boswell doesn't. It is up, it is good, and the Steelers get back to within a touchdown. 10-3, the Ravens lead here in Pittsburgh. 8:52 remaining in the first half. By the way, here is the statement. From the Atlanta Falcons. It is so tiny, I can't read it. Let me see what I got here. Okay. Head coach Raheem Morris and general manager Terry Fontenot have been dismissed from their roles following a meeting tonight in Atlanta with Falcons owner and chairman Arthur Blank. The Falcons' 2025 season ended earlier today after a home game versus New Orleans. Morris was named head coach following the 2023 season and served as Atlanta's interim head coach during the final 11 games of the 2020 season. During his tenure as head coach, the last 2 seasons, the Falcons finished 8-9 in 2024 and 8-9 in 2025. He completes his tenure in Atlanta with an overall record of 16-18 with no playoff appearances. With Morris as interim head coach for the final 11 games of 2020, the Falcons were 4-7. Fontenot completed his 5th season in Atlanta after joining the Falcons in 2021. The Falcons' record during his tenure was 37-48 with no playoff appearances. By the way, this is the official statement from the Falcons. This isn't like a news report. This is what the Falcons' official statement is. So this is sounded just like, this is why we got rid of these fuckers, all right? I have great personal affinity for both Raheem and Terry and appreciate their hard work and dedication to the Falcons. But I believe we need new leadership in these roles moving forward, said Arthur Blank. The decision moved away from people who represent this organization so well and had a shared commitment to the values that are important to this organization. It is not an easy one, but the results on the field have not met our expectations or those of our fans and leadership. I wish Raheem and Terry the absolute best in all of their future pursuits. The searches for the head coach and general manager roles for the Falcons will begin immediately. ZRG Partners will assist on the head coach search, and Sportsology Group will assist on the general manager role search. No timeline has been set for completion for either of these searches, but they will occur concurrently. The official statement from the Atlanta Falcons after firing Raheem Morris and Terry Fontenot, their head coach and their general manager. Lloyd says, isn't Boswell from the Packers too? I don't think so. Boswell's been kicking for the Steelers for like forever. So if he was from the Packers, it's from very early on in his career, but I don't remember. Crafty says that Rodgers overthrow in that last drive was like from the one back in the 2011 divisional play. Listen, don't blame Rodgers for that. Just blame the fact that he had to go up against Eli Manning and the New York Football Giants. Once Eli Manning made it to the playoffs, you can stop that man. Lamar on 1st and 10 from the 35. We got a flag down. He's going to run for 3 yards, but we'll see what the flag is. Already up to 6 flags, by the way. Falal is injured on the ground for the Ravens. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name. Holding on the Ravens. That's going to be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, first down. So the injured Raven is the one that's on the ground, and he's the one that got called for the holding. Interesting. Fa'alele. Rosengarten, I think he was a Giant once a long time ago. So with that, 1st and 20 now for the Ravens, all the way back on their 25-yard line. Emory Jones, who kind of looks like I show speed, he's coming in to replace Fa'alele. Hi, Pepper Jack. I love you. 1st and 20, Henry for about 3 yards. Going to be 2nd down and 18, 2nd and 17. Coming up here. Hayward in on a tackle. There's coffee there if you want it. In case you guys want to have one of your cookies. You got some cookies. Pepper Jack loves her cookies. She likes the soft one. She had to get the store brand ones, but the store brand ones aren't nearly as good. They were cheaper, but they're not as good. Clearly, obviously, if you're going to get store-bought soft cookies, Entenmann's clearly is the top of the list, but Entenmann's are so goddamn expensive. I don't get it, man. 2nd and 17. Lamar can't find anybody open. Finally, after all that time, could not get away. Sacked back at the 25, loss of 3 yards there, and that's going to set up a 3rd and 20.
But too bad your ass got sacked.
Highsmith officially gets the sack. So now 3rd and 20. Will the Steelers pin their ears back? Will they play it safe? Looks like they're just going to rush 4 here. Hand off to Henry. Henry gets it up to the 31. Whoa, 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 whoa. There might be a little extra. No, they're not going to throw the flag. They are keeping it in the pockets. Thank God the officials had a second of proper judgment there. And it's going to be 4th down and 14 after the 6-yard run there from Derrick Henry, and Baltimore is going to have to punt. I was wondering why the chat wasn't moving. I was stuck when I clicked on the link. That's dumb. Calvin Austin with the return. He's going to get it to the 17-yard line from what that appears to be. 6:10 remaining in the second quarter. "108 days, 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 40 seconds until the draft. The Raiders are on the clock. They have 108 days to decide who they're picking. We think we know who they're picking. Lloyd in the chat says, a lot of people I don't recognize, but that's any career. It comes and go. I'm bad with names. Like, there's some, like, I'll remember some. Obviously, if they're really remarkable, I'll remember, but there's some I really do forget. So, thank you, ELS, for the update on the Division III NCAA football title game. Wisconsin River Falls with a 10 points scored going up against North Central. I don't know where they're from. They're from the central part of the North, I would imagine. They're up 14-10 on Wisconsin River Falls. There's 2 minutes left in the second quarter in that game. Best of luck to those Division III schools. May your names forever be remembered and etched into history in your local schools and towns and taverns, where you will never buy another beer again, and you will be able to have sex with all of the fat, lonely 40-something-year-old women who drink at the bars and pass out the Jell-O shots. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I have personally no problem with that. You do what you got to do, ladies and gentlemen. White says, King, any fine sports to cover? As far as what, after the season's done? Like I said, we're going to be doing hockey, and I'll keep it. We'll bring you along. We'll bring you back into the fold here, Lord, when it comes to hockey. Like I said, we're gonna keep it open. We're gonna see what we're doing, and you know the old adage, we'll play it by ear. That's kind of what we're gonna do here on Stay Tuned Sports. We're gonna play it by ear, see what strikes our fancy. Sorry about that, boy. I'm gonna need more coffee here. I only have 1 cup here. I'm gonna need more. NBC letting us know again how great Aaron Rodgers is, and indeed he is. Let's not. A lot of people sit there like to make. I never got why people love to shit on and hate on like the people who are good. Like, people always shit on Brady. People always shit on Mahomes. People always shit on Rodgers. People always try to shit on people that are like the best and the greatest at what they do. It always bothered me. It's like, stop. Rodgers throws incomplete. MVS was the intended receiver there, but it falls incomplete. 2nd and 10. That is something. The NFC North, nobody finished below 500. Everybody had a winning record in the NFC North this year. Rodgers throws over the middle. Is that not a flag? That looked like he was all over him. It looked like Wiggins was all over him. Instead, nope, it's just going to be another incomplete pass, 3rd down and 10 for Pittsburgh from the 17-yard line. ELS with some more insider news breaking here. We'll get to that right after this play. If you're in the chat, you already know what he's saying. Rodgers throws. That's going to be off the mark. He's looking for Gainwell. Van Noy out on coverage there. And so the Steelers, after getting the punt from the Ravens, go 3 and out, and they're going to punt the ball right back. From NFL insider Jordan Schultz, who is always iffy with his information. So when it comes to Schultz, this isn't like Ian Rappaport or Pelissaro. Jordan Schultz he's missed the mark more than once. But anyway, Jordan Schultz is saying, according to his sources, the Cowboys are expected to make changes on their coaching staff, with the main focus being on defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus. So we'll see if that is what happens, although I don't think you could be a blind man and pretty much make that a same assumption there. On the punt here, we have a flag down. Of course we do. Any kind of kick with this particular refereeing crew, they are going to throw a flag. You can't have a punt or a kickoff without a flag with these guys. Illegal motion on the Steelers. 5-yard penalty. They're going to make them re-kick. Also, did anybody notice that the NFL really should probably look into getting a different signal for illegal motion? Because that's not great. If you have an illegal motion, that seems like an illegal motion, doesn't it? Like, are we Zoran Mamdani's inauguration here? That's not great. Better do NFL, do better. So now 4th and 15, the Steelers finally do kick it away. I'm just saying, it's a very questionable hand signal for that particular penalty. Lloyd says that's a little sus. It is. I'm just saying, it's a little not great. You gotta find a better way with that. So finally, Baltimore does get the punt. They're going to have it at their own 35-yard line there. 1st and 10 when they come back here. ELS says the announcers that they had for the Packers-Vikings game were the worst ones I ever heard. I don't know who they had there, but listen, Packers and Vikings, where the Packers were playing all backups because they were injured and or already locked into the 7th spot, and the Vikings being who the Vikings were, you weren't going to get the A crew. By the way, Jordan Schultz is also reporting that Matt Ryan is being strongly considered for the high-profile front office role with the Falcons, similar to what the Detroit's had for Chris Spielman. So kind of just like a nice cushy job there. That'll be good for him. Oh, that was an Adam Archuleta game. Okay, yeah. And Aditi Kinkinwala, yeah. She's cute. I like Aditi. She's cute. Oh, King Henry bowling forward as he's going to get all the way down to the Steelers' 45-yard line on that run. Big ass run by big ass Derrick Henry. 21-yard gain. 1st and 10 for the Ravens from the Steelers' 44. Lloyd says, all I have to say is this season was a first for me seeing ref get hurt. Yeah, we saw 2 refs get hurt this year. That's crazy. Where they had to be taken off, and there was we had the ref replacement. We had the one official in the end zone that wasn't I think he might have been the umpire where they had to take him off and stretch him off the field. And then there was the one where the actual white cap got hurt, and the umpire had to then take the white cap, and he had to get all the communication gear and stuff and do all that as well. That was crazy. Second and 9 after Derrick Henry only gained 1 yard on 1st and 10. Throw for Zay Flowers, incomplete from Lamar Jackson. 3rd and 9 upcoming. Oh, Lamar is going to pull it down and run to the 30, to the 35, down to the 33. 1st down, Ravens. Well, we got a flag down. Uh-oh. And this looks like this might be coming back. Holding on the Ravens. Oh, no. Linderbaum, number 64. You got called for a mistake. That's the center. And it's a ticky-tack call, I'm not going to lie, but it is a call. So now it makes it 3rd and 17 all the way back at the 49-yard line. Zay Flowers on a bit of a screen. He's going to get all the way down to about the 42-yard line. That's not going to be enough for a 1st down. We have 59-yard field goal attempt if they were going to attempt that. 3:40 and counting remaining in the 2nd quarter. We will see what the Ravens decide to do. 4th and 8 here. It looks like they're going to punt the ball. Punt is away. And that ball's going to get touched down at the 9-yard line, and that is where the Steelers will get it. 1st and 10 from the 9. I don't know why I'm dancing. I think it's a Target commercial. Why is he getting... Why? I don't understand that. By the way, this comes from Fox 19, I believe, in Cincinnati. Joe Burrow took several moments to stop and take it all in before leaving the field today. As we see a video, he was really seemed to be having a moment on the field there at Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati. Post-game, he called the Bengals' 2026 offseason the biggest of his career. On upcoming conversations with the front office, Joe Burrow is quoted as saying, "I think for the most part we're on the same page." So we're going to see what happens there. First and 10 from the 9 for the Steelers. Warren, boy, he breaks it loose and gets all the way down to the 24-yard line. First down, Steelers. Big gain, 15-yard run. First and 10 for the Steelers from the 24. MVS is going to get a yard gain, gets it to the 25-yard line, second and 9. With 2:18, 2:17, it looks like that's going to end up being the last play before the 2-minute warning here. ELS in the chat says, "I have a question for you, King. How do you describe the 2025-2026 Giants season?" You see asking that fucking question, ELS? You really asking that question, ELS? Are you asking that question to me? Having watched me on here every week, every live stream we've done, whether it's this game live streams, whether it's been the countdown, the Booty Cheeks 5, the Friday forecast, really anything that I've done here, back when Jimbo was on the show, back when Jimbo isn't on the show, this just for the last 6 months or so. More like 4 months, but still. You ask me that question? How do I think the Giants' 2025 season went? How dare you? How dare you ask such a question? How dare you ask such a question? To be honest with you, it was obviously an abject disaster. ELS, what a great link in the chat. That's just the thing. Think about it. Falcons beat the Jets. The Falcons are NFC South champions, and they're in the playoffs. Just think about that. But yeah, Giants season was an abject disaster pretty much from go because of Brian Daboll, and for some reason, why ever we decided to start with Russell Wilson is why we should have started with Jameis Winston if we were going to go that route. There were flashes of what we could be under a competent coaching staff and under competent front office. Will we ever get that? Giants have pieces. Like the Giants don't have a bare cupboard. So I think again, if you're a head coaching candidate, the Giants look nice simply because we have good offensive pieces, we have good defensive pieces. We have pieces ready to go. Also, my cousin bet me $500 to say that to you, so I just won $500. Boy, your cousin just wasted $500. Second and 9. Rodgers back, looks, throws. Incomplete. That Wiggins again. Boy, he just loves jabber-jawing that kid, doesn't he? Everything I do, every time he does something. That's that dude. Like, he's the little yappy dog. Like in those Looney Tunes cartoons. He's the little yappy dog that's always next to the big bulldog. Just talking. Hey, Spike, what are you doing today, Spike? What are you going to do today, Spike? That's Wiggins. Where's my water? Did I make the water in? I'm going to have to get my water. 3rd and 9, Rodgers. He's going to pull it down, and he's actually going to run for it himself. And he's going to get the first down and stays in for a little bit longer, and then goes out of bounds. Look at Rodgers. Look at the young, nimble Rodgers and the pure athleticism from Aaron Rodgers there. And he scrambles for a 20-yard gain. First down for the Steelers to the 45. Gainwell caught out of the backfield. I'm sorry, that's Thielen. Sorry about that. Get it down to the Ravens 48, 2nd and 3 after a 7-yard gain there from Thielen. Clock is ticking. Steelers have all 3 timeouts. Now it's Gainwell. Gainwell gets it down to the 37, and that's going to be a first down for the Steelers. Still not using a timeout. They finally do. The 105 remaining. Steelers have the ball on the Ravens 37. 1st and 10. They trail by 7. Steelers looking to see if they can pull even before halftime here. Rodgers throws over the middle, caught. That's going to be Calvin Austin with the reception. First down over the middle of the field. 55 seconds and counting. It's going to be a 13-yard gain in the first down to the Baltimore Ravens 24-yard line. Clock down to 42, 41, 40 seconds remaining. Steelers have time, and they have 2 timeouts. Steelers snap the ball with 32 seconds remaining. Rodgers looks, throws. He was trying to go to the outside to Austin again. Incomplete. 29 seconds remaining. 2nd and 10 for the Steelers. I don't toss tables, Lloyd, by the way. I see that in the chat. I don't toss tables. Gainwell, he's going to be down inbounds. He's down just short of the first down marker. Steelers are going to take their second timeout. It's going to be 3rd and 1 coming up here for the Steelers. Third and 2, Rodgers. That's going to be thrown. Caught, they're going to say forward progress. They're going to say forward progress was stopped in bounds. I thought he might have gotten out, but it doesn't matter. Steelers are going to have to use a timeout. So now the Steelers out of timeouts. They're going to have 1st and goal at the 10. "15 seconds. Steelers have no timeouts remaining. From just inside the 10, 1st and goal for the Steelers. Rodgers got trips to his right. Looks, throws. No flag for Austin. He's looking for it, saying he was being molested down the field. The referees say, we see that as the U.S. government sees the Epstein files, in that we don't see it. Second and 10, 11 seconds remaining for the Steelers from just inside the 10. 2nd and goal. Trips to the right again for Rodgers, who's in shotgun. Throws out of the back of the end zone. 3rd and goal. Seven seconds remain. So here we go. Let's see. Can the Steelers get into the end zone? Rodgers takes the snap. Throws towards the back of the end zone. Incomplete, but we got a flag down, but there's only 2 seconds left, so it doesn't matter. But it's 2 seconds. So it's a worthless penalty because they're going to have to kick the field goal and take the points anyway. It doesn't matter. You got to take the points. Do you go for it and miss it, and then I think the Ravens get the ball? Do the Ravens get the ball first in the second half? No, the Ravens had the first drive of the so the Steelers do get the ball first in the second half. Well, they're going to go for it. 2 seconds left. Can the Steelers get a touchdown here? Nope, didn't get there. It was kind of they tried to do like a naked bootleg, but with Gainwell as the running back, and that's going to end the half with the Steelers not getting any points. That's why I thought you go for the points. It's disappointing that you get the pass interference in the end zone with only 2 seconds left, but you weren't going to be able to get that. Like the way this defense is going, the way you've been going. There's no way you get that. You take the 3 points there. You get the ball first in the second half. If you get another field goal there, or you get your points are at a premium in this game, and to leave points on the field is silly. And now it's just. I mean, it's just. I don't know. Maybe that's just the way I look at it. Maybe I'm just being a silly boy, but. So I don't know. But there you go. That is going to be the end of the first half. The Steelers 3, the Ravens 10. Steelers get the ball first in the second half. And where is my? Did I not bring my water in? I have to grab my water. I'm going to grab another cup of coffee too here in a second. And we see the countdown clock here. Oh, we got the wild card weekend schedule coming up here, so they're going to see that. So I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm just going to go grab my water and a cup of coffee. But I'm not going to turn this off. We're not going to coffee break here. We're just going to have this. You're just going to see a blank ass chair here. Aha, I'm back. ALS with the empty chair emojis. Yes, you got the empty chair, but here we are. Back just in time to see what we're going to have here for the wild card weekend schedule. Super wild card weekend. Saturday, okay, so here we go. This is going to be the games. Saturday, January 10th, the Rams and Panthers, 4:30 on Fox. 8 o'clock on Amazon Prime, we're going to have the Packers versus the Bears. So it's an NFC Saturday. Rams, Panthers, Packers, Bears. On Sunday, it's going to be the Bills versus the Jaguars at 1 o'clock. That's going to be a good one right there on CBS. Fox, they have the 4 o'clock game where the San Francisco 49ers will take on the Philadelphia Eagles in Philadelphia. And the 8 o'clock primetime game on Sunday Night Football on NBC is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers traveling to Foxborough to take on the number 2 seed New England Patriots. And then on Monday Night Football, on ABC and ESPN, it will be the Houston Texans versus either the Ravens or the Steelers. That will be at 8 o'clock on Monday, January 12th. So there you go. That is your wild card weekend schedule. So we know what we're watching. We got 2 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday, and Monday Night Football on the playoffs, which I don't like. But, you know, the NFL is what it is, and they got to satisfy their broadcast partners. There we go. The Texans will take on either the Ravens or Steelers on Monday Night Football. ELS says, another Packers game on Saturday night? Come on! Well, you know, like Elton John said, Saturday nights are all right for fighting. So it's perfectly fine for Packers games. Looking up information here, see if I'm getting anything else happening here. Crafty says Bills Jags is the most enticing of the wild card game matchups in his opinion. I gotta say, I'm gonna have to take a look at him again. That is definitely a good one. That should be a fun one. God, I love water. Lloyd asks, worst NFL game you ever watched? I don't know. I've watched some bad ones. Again, this is going to be recency bias because of just that, because it happened this year. But Cowboys Raiders Monday night this year, that one drove me to dark places. That game drove me to dark places. I was not a fan of that game. That's early. Let me see. I want to see if I have the actual. I want to find a graphic, by the way. Why is none of that showing up? Lloyd says, I got the Bears in the rematch with the Packers. Again, that's one of those games where it's like, I don't know. I don't know what could happen. All right. That's set. The Rams-Panthers game could be interesting because the Rams lost to the Panthers in Carolina, and they got to now travel all the way across the country, go to Carolina on a short week. So that's kind of a punishment there for the Rams. So they have to travel all the way to Carolina on a short week across the country to play on Saturday afternoon. So I think that one can be very interesting. Then you got the Packers and Bears on Amazon Prime. Again, you'd think the Bears should win that game, but I'll give the Packers a puncher's chance just simply because the Bears are still very inconsistent, and Caleb Williams is just very inefficient at quarterback. And again, he's played better this year, and the Bears have won games that they would have lost last year. This year, which put them in a position that they were in to go ahead and win the NFC North. But again, I don't have a ton of confidence with them. I'll probably end up picking them, to be honest with you, on the Friday forecast next Friday. But I'll give the Packers a puncher's chance. I'll give them a puncher's chance. Bills and Jaguars, that's going to be a fun one. And Duval, I might go with the Jaguars on that one. Niners and Eagles. Boy, I think if the Eagles were playing the Packers, I think that'd be easier to pick the Eagles on that game. On that one, though, I might pick the Niners. I think the Eagles really screwed themselves by not beating the Redskins today. And then the Chargers and Patriots. I'll never count out Herbert or Jim Harbaugh, but I think I'll go with the Pats on that one at home. Warren's going to return the second half kickoff up to about the 32, 33-yard line, and that's where they'll start there. And then Monday night, Houston versus either one of these teams, I'll take the Texans. Texans are right now just the hottest team. I am not going to pick against the Texans. First and 10 for the Steelers. Still down 7. They did not score any points with a first and goal situation at the end of the half. Pitch back to Warren. Warren gets 9 yards. 2nd and 1 for the Steelers coming up here. Crafty says, I like the Pats, Jags, and Texans. Patriots over the Chargers. Jaguars over Bills and Texans over the AFC North. And he says the NFC ones for him are a pick'em. Lloyd says, surprised Irish. Again, who knows what he's got going on there. Listen, last night he was in here talking about hanging out by the Mexican supermarket, checking out the big booty Latinas. So maybe he's busy tonight. You know what I mean? So who am I to say? If your choice is either watch this guy or hang out with some big booty Latinas, what are you going to do? I'm not blaming the guy. By the way, a big thank you to everyone who's watching who is not hanging out with some big booty Latinas. Thank you for joining us here in Stay Tuned Sports. My name is King. If you like anything on this channel, I don't know why you would, but if you do, please hit that like button. Hit that share button. Let the world know that we exist. And, of course, if you haven't done so already or this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Throw over the middle. He's looking for Adam Thielen, who was looking for a flag. Neither the pass was completed nor the flag was thrown. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 for the Steelers from their 45. Second and 10. Rodgers got trips to his right. They seem to like this particular formation. Empty backfield. Throws in between two Ravens who run into each other and hurt each other. They both have a concussion here. It looks like Hamilton especially. Oh, Hamilton is down and he is not getting up. And that is early contact because Hamilton forearm shivered on Calvin Austin there. It's going to end up being 3rd and 10, but I think Rodgers has got a point there. There should have been a flag for early contact on the Ravens. These officials, but here's the thing. The officials have been bad all across the board, every game, every team. And this isn't one team getting favored or anything like that. These officials just suck. These officials are terrible across the goddamn board. And yes, Crafty, Lamar, this is what I mean. I don't think either one of these teams are doing anything if they get to the playoffs. Lamar Jackson's stats for the game, 4 of 6 for 59 yards, and he does have a touchdown. Rodgers, 15 of 27 for 98 yards. Derrick Henry's got 15 carries for $112 already. Warren, the leading rusher for the Steelers, he's got 30 on 5 touches there. Walker, the leading receiver for the Ravens, with 38 yards on 1 reception, but it's also a touchdown reception as well that he has. Gainwell, out of the backfield, he's got 42 yards on 6 receptions. The Steelers have 98 yards passing, where the Ravens have 43. The Ravens have 122 yards rushing, where the Steelers have 52. So it's really this game is a battle of mid, if we're being truly honest with each other here. And we're nothing if not honest with each other here on Stay Tuned Sports. So God, I love coffee. Sorry, just wanted to put that out there. Coffee is fantastic. Gimme the basketball. Gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it. Third and 10. Rodgers throws over the middle. Caught! Freiermuth. As Heinz Field erupts in a Muth chant. First and 10. Steelers 14-yard gain for Freiermuth as they get it down to the Ravens' 41-yard line. Crafty in the chat says Harbaugh right now is leaning on a defense that has a tendency to blow leads. They stopped the Steelers at the end of the first half, so there is that. Rodgers does a pitch back here to Jonnu Smith, the tight end. That's going to be good for 2 yards at best. In fact, it wasn't at best because at best they gave him 1 yard second. And no, they changed it. They did give him 2 yards. Look at that. Just as I was saying, it looked like he got 2 yards. It looked like they only gave him 1, and they said, no. We're going to give him 2. Second and 8 for the Steelers from the 39-yard line. Mount Washington out for the rest of the year with a broken forearm. Rodgers, empty backfield, looks, throws. He's got his man. That's going to be Thielen down to the 11-yard line. First down, Steelers. There's somebody at the game with a giant-ass Green Bay Packers hat, and I don't know why. That's weird. Why would a Packers fan go to a Ravens-Steelers game and think wearing the giant novelty Green Bay Packers cap would be a cool thing to do? I don't know. First and 10, handoff to Warren. Warren is going to bowl his way for about 3 yards. Second and 7 from the Baltimore 8-yard line. Can the Steelers finally push this in and get a touchdown here on this drive? Touchdown and extra point will tie the game at 10. And if they would have went for the field goal at the end of the first half instead of leaving points on the board, they could be fighting for a lead here. Rodgers throws to Warren out of the backfield. He makes a man miss. Gets down to the 5. Gets down to the 3. And that's going to be third down and about 1. Third and 1 from the 2. The Steelers can get a first down without getting a touchdown. And knowing the Steelers, that's something that could probably happen. Nope. And he's going to be about half a yard short. It's going to be fourth and half a yard. They're going to try and do they got Cam Hayward out there. And here they go. They got Hayward underneath. They're going to push. They do a little bit of a tush push. And I think they're going to mark it. He is past the first down marker. It is a first down. So first and goal for the Steelers from the half-yard line. If I'm the Steelers, I take a page out of the Eagles book. Just do the tush push as much as you can. Hamilton is being carted off the field, and Steelers are going to run the same exact play. And that one looks like it's going to be, and we got flags down, though. Ravens were offsides. So that's a touchdown for the Steelers, and they're an extra point away from tying this game. Now, if they would have went for the field goal at the end of the first half, they'd have the lead right now. I'm just saying. Never doubt me. I'm the smartest guy in the world. I should probably be a football head coach. I'm just saying. Or at least a play caller. ELS says, hey, we got ourselves a Yinzer touchdown. Snap, hold, kick. It is up and it is good, and we have ourselves a tie game here in the AFC North Championship. The Ravens 10, the Steelers 10. 8:23 remaining in the third quarter. What do we got coming up here? Ravens get the ball. Let's see if they can answer that Steelers drive. If I'm the Steelers, maybe I just run that play over and 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 over again. ELS in the chat says, King, imagine you buying or being the head coach. I'm the offensive coordinator. Crafty is the DC, and Lloyd is the special teams coordinator. That would be maybe the most dysfunctional team in the history of football. I don't know if that would be boy, the press conferences would be fun. Boy, you want to talk about wanting to watch Hard Knocks. That'd be a Hard Knocks you'd want to tune into. Just reading up on Twitter, see if we got any more news here. Ali. He gets that up to the 20-something or other. Rasheen Ali, actually, he returned it there to the 34-yard line. That's where the Ravens will have it 1st and 10. Derrick Henry gets maybe half a yard, but not even that. 2nd and 10 upcoming here for the Ravens. Steelers defense, big momentum all of a sudden coming on to the Steelers here. As we see the steam escaping the head of the Steelers offensive lineman on the sidelines. Patrick Queen calling the play for the defense for the Steelers, former Baltimore Raven. Lamar's in shotgun. Lamar's going to get hit as he throws. Incomplete. Hayward got the pressure in on Lamar as he threw it as an incomplete pass. And now Patrick Queen is on the ground. Oh, no. No, that's not Queen. That's Ramsey. I'm not sure what happened with Ramsey, but milk. Oh, while you're over there, can I ask a favor? Can you just top off my coffee there? Thank you, Bubba. 7:31 remaining here. 3rd and 9 for the Ravens. Lamar's in shotgun. Plenty of time on the play clock, so he's fine. Lamar takes the snap, back, looks, throws. That's going to be knocked down at the line. Is it intercepted? It is! Intercepted! T.J. Watt! And the Steelers have the ball. Close to, if not, right at the, where are they? Is it going to be at the 34? Where are they? I don't think they're in the red zone, but they're right there. They're right on the edge of it. Oh, what a turn of events. It was deflected, and then, yeah, Watt with the interception. And they're down at the 26-yard line. Oh, disaster class for the Ravens. Disaster for the Ravens. Oh, no. Oh, no. What is going on in the House of Commons? Oh, thank you very much, Pepper Jack. I love you so much. Pepper Jack made me a cup of coffee. That's why I love it. Look at the coffee. It's the best cup of coffee ever. I'll tell you that. Warren out of the backfield, making a couple of Ravens miss, gets down 9-yard gain. 2nd and 1. They're going to win at the 17. Oh, man, what a turn of events. And the Steelers have a golden opportunity in front of them to take the lead here. Rodgers under center. He's going to take the snap. It's going to be a handoff here to Warren, and he's going to get a first down to the 15. 2-yard gain. All that matters. Move the chains. First down, Steelers. ELS says the best place to live is a cup of Daniel Jones coffee. That's right, the Danny Dimes blend. You can get that right now over at the Stay Tuned Sports merch store. The Danny Dimes Wake Up Blend. It'll wake you up like a blindside hit from a very terrible offensive line. That's why we named it that. The Danny Dimes Blend available right now over at the Stay Tuned Sports merch store, bit.ly/Stay Tuned merch. Never stop selling, ladies and gentlemen. Warren, whoa, look at him breaking tackles. Gets to the second level and gets all the way down to about the 8-yard line. Oh, the Steelers are feeling it now. The Steelers are feeling it now. Second and 3 from the 8. Rodgers hands off to Warren. Warren spitting off some tackles. He's going to get a yard, maybe 2 if they're generous, and I don't know if they're going to be that generous. Third down. And 2. They only give him a yard. Oh, yeah, he had his coffee advent calendar that he was doing. And the Steelers are going to take a timeout here as the play clock was running down. I did see a couple of your reels about the advent calendar. I did see that on there, but Instagram isn't here. ELS, we're our own. You should have been doing that in the Discord. We have the Discord for a reason. You should be doing that there. Be part of that. Let you should have been posting that in there. Let all the guys in there know I was gone. By the way, if you want to join our Discord, it is small, it is quiet, but you can make it noisy. Our links for that are in the top of the chat and in the description below if you want to go ahead and join our Discord, or if you want to go ahead and just donate to our donation station or buy one of our pieces of merch in the merch store. Those links, again, top of the chat and in the description below. 3rd and 2 for the Steelers. From the 7, Rodgers steps back, looks, throws towards the end zone, looking for Freiermuth, incomplete, no flag. 4th and 2, Steelers will go for the field goal and take a 3-point lead here. Yeah, he's holding on to his hand. That should have been a penalty. I don't know why Peacock's cocking up here. But either way, here we go. Boswell on for the not extra point, but for the field goal. It's basically an extra point attempt. Kick is up, and it is good, and the Steelers take a 13-10 lead. 4:28 remaining in the third quarter. And for the first time tonight, they were down 10-0. The next 13 points have been scored by the Steelers. Can the Ravens respond? We're going to find out coming up here. I think that Sunday slate's going to be a real fun wild card weekend. Bills, Jaguars, Niners, Eagles, Chargers, Patriots. I think is going to be the best Those are going to be the best games of Wild Card Weekend. I think Rams-Panthers can be good. I think Packers-Bears is going to be interesting. And I honestly think Texans versus either Steelers or Ravens is going to be a blowout. So, just what it feels like. Just what it feels like. By the way, here's a nice little stat here for everybody. TJ Watt joins only Julius Peppers as the only players with 100-plus sacks and 9-plus interceptions in a career since sacks became an official stat all the way back in 1982, the year after I was born. So here's the thing. I was alive for the last season where sacks weren't counted as a stat. That's how old I am. The 1981 season, if you got a sack, that was just a tackle for loss. They should really go back and look at all the players that had a tackle for loss against a quarterback in the stat books and retroactively start giving everybody those sacks. Kickoff return to the 20, down to the 23. They might give them to the 24. We got some pushing and shoving on the field, as you are going to have here. Are they gonna talk about whether or not there was a fumble here or not? I think he is down, but ooh, it's close. It's a bang-bang play there. Either way, 1st and 10 for the Ravens. Handoff to Derrick Henry. Good for 2 yards. That's it. 2nd and 8 upcoming. ELS, aren't you funny? It's so funny. ELS in the chat says, Raiders, they're very close in their Super Bowl team rebuild. All they need is a head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, left guard, right tackle, 2 wide receivers, defensive tackles, defensive backs, linebackers, strong safety, free safety, new owner, long snapper, quarterback, and a kicker. Boy, they missed Janikowski. Whoa, Peacock, what is up with ourselves here, Peacock? Let's go. Wake up. Nine-yard run here from Derrick Henry. That's a 1st down at the 34. Pitch back here, and that's going to be a yard loss there for the Ravens. They went backwards. 2nd and 11 upcoming. Highsmith in on a tackle. Keaton Mitchell got the pitch there and didn't get much else. We got a flag here early. That's going to be false start on the Ravens. Move them back 5 yards. 2nd and 16 upcoming here. Oh, by the way, Steelers have 13 points. What am I thinking here? Hi, Taylor. Where's Pecan? Pecan's usually here whenever Taylor shows up. In case anybody wonders or is new here, wonder why the hell I got Taylor Swift up there. Number one, I like Taylor Swift. I think she's pretty. Second of all, whenever there's a 13 or 22, two numbers that are associated with Taylor Swift, obviously with 22, or her favorite number is 13, and her birthday is on the 13th. We pop Taylor up there, just so everybody get a nice view of her there. So here we go. 2nd and 16, throw incomplete from Lamar Jackson. It looked like he was looking for Derrick Henry out of the backfield. Incomplete. 3rd and 16, and the Steelers crowd is alive, electric, and loud at Heinz Field, Acrisure Stadium. I knew Pecan would show up. Once Taylor came on, I knew Pecan would be in the chat with the Taylor heart emoji. Great to see you, Pecan. Thank you so much for joining us. 3rd and 16 for the Ravens. Lamar Jackson takes a snap. He's surveying the field. Got time to throw. He does complete it. That's going to be to Mark Andrews, but that's not going to be anywhere near the first down. And it's going to be 4th and a lot. 4th and 8 after an 8-yard pass there to Andrews. So this feels like the Ravens are going to have to punt the ball. They're on their own 36. So here we go, getting ready to punt the ball are the Ravens. Punt is away. And that's going to take a bounce all the way back to about the 12-yard line. And that's where will be downed, and that's where the Steelers will take over. 1st and 10 from their own 12. The Steelers with a 3-point lead, looking to see if they can add to it. 1:04 remaining in the third quarter. Here on Stay Tuned Sports, I'm your boy King, hanging out with you here on this final Sunday night of the NFL regular season. Although now we know who will be playing next Sunday night. It'll be the Chargers versus the Patriots. 1 week from this exact time, we'll be watching the Chargers and the Patriots, and we'll see what happens there. Maybe it'll be a lot of this.
Go Chargers, go!
I don't know. It could be. It could be. We don't know. I don't know if I'd bet on that. I don't know if I'd say that's what I would think is going to happen, but it could. It could be what happens. I don't know. I'm not a fortune teller, as my picks this season have kind of foreshadowed. Not great. Not great. ELS letting us know what's going on in Division III Football Championship. Wisconsin River Falls. They've scored a touchdown and now lead over North Central 24-14. University of Wisconsin River Falls making some moves. Fourth quarter, 8:44 left to go in that game. Congratulations to both Wisconsin River Falls and North Central for making it to their respective title game there. Nobody's a loser, just somebody ends up being a champion. Or something like that. I don't know. And the neighbor decided that 10:39 would be a perfect time to put his dogs outside and have them bark their fucking heads off. Thank you so much. That is so nice of them to do that. Gainwell out of the backfield for the Steelers. He's going to get about 4 or 5 yards there on that particular play. Now they give him 6 yards on that one. 2nd and 4 for the Steelers from their own 18. Rodgers in shotgun. Takes the snap, throws. Going to get that to Freiermuth, and that's going to be good enough for a first down. 2 yards past the sticks. 8 of 6 on 2nd and 4. First down, Steelers down to the 24-yard line. And ladies and gentlemen, I do have to bring to your attention the third quarter has come to a close. Now, if you ever see on the sidelines, if you ever look on the sidelines and you're like, hey, why is Taylor going away there for a second? You'll see in a second. But you'll look on the sidelines, coaches, players, staff, you'll see them in the fourth quarter. They'll put the fours up. Why they got the fours up? Why they got 4 fingers up? That doesn't make any sense. But it does because they're showing you. They're showing their teammates. They're showing everybody that they're there for all 4 quarters. They're dedicated for all 4 quarters, just like we are dedicated here to all 4 quarters. And now, the last 4th quarter of the NFL regular season. Ladies and gentlemen, get the 4s up in the air, in the chat, and let's see that you too are dedicated to this. You know who else is dedicated? You know who else is throwing up all 4s? Taylor's throwing up all 4s. Look at that. Taylor Swift, she's got the 4s. If she can have the 4s, you can have the 4s. We're here for all 4 quarters, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports for the first, for the second, for the third, and now for the 4th quarter of this last NFL regular season game between the Ravens and the Steelers. Thank you so much for joining us. If you like any part of this broadcast, and even if it's just looking at Taylor Swift's pretty face, if you like any part of this broadcast, please hit that like button. Thank you so very much if you do so. Hit that share button. Let us out into the world like a nasty, disgusting virus. Again, let the world know that we exist. That helps us out tremendously. And, of course, as always, if you haven't done so yet or this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button and that notification bell as we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers and hopefully being monetized here on this great and glorious platform known as YouTube. Pecan's got 4 Taylor Swift hearts in the chat, signifying his dedication not only to the 4 quarters, but to Taylor Swift as well. And, of course, who isn't dedicated to good old Tay-Tay? We love Tay-Tay here on Stay Tuned Sports. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here. Again, if you want to help us out a little bit more directly, you can go ahead and join our donation station and our merch store. Links for that are at the top of the chat and in the description below. You can do all of that. But thank you so much as we are getting ready here for the 4th quarter. That Taylor will go away, and this Taylor will come back as the Steelers still have 13 points. So as long as there is a 13 or a 22 somewhere in the game, Taylor will always be there on the screen for you. ELS says, King, can I be honest? I would expect nothing but honesty from you, ELS, or anybody in the chat. I want honesty at all times. Hit me with the honesty. I did the same thing to Jimbo, ELS. I'm honest with you. Scotty Miller with a catch there for the Steelers out of the backfield. He slips on the Heinz Field turf there. Ends up only getting 5 yards, but it's 5 yards on first down, so 2nd and 5 upcoming. ELS in the chat said, I used to hate Swift. I'm starting to like her. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Like I said, Jimbo was 100% against her. Then all of a sudden he listened to this last album she had, and he's like, God damn it, I like some of her songs on there. That's what I mean, man. Just stop. I think the one thing people have to stop is, like, stop being so beholden to a genre or be like, oh, I have to like or not like something based on who I am or whatever. Gainwell is going to get a first down here, but we got a flag down. Let's see what this is going to be. If it's coming back, it feels like it is. That's going to be OPI. They're going to say the Steelers did a little pick play there. So that takes away the first down. 10-yard penalty. It's going to make it 2nd and 15 now, all the way back to the 19. Let's see. What did Freiermuth do here? They're going to say, oh, he just kind of stopped his route to get in the way. I don't know about that. 2nd and 15. Rodgers. Empty backfield set here. Throws to Gainwell out wide. It's going to be good for 7 yards-ish. It is. I mean, look at that. I'm getting better at telling the yardage. 3rd and 8 upcoming for the Steelers. But yeah, when I think about that, like, people got to stop being so beholden to John. I'm a metalhead, and I'm anything like Taylor Swift. And if it's not if it is not, Norwegian underground, Oslo specific to this neighborhood black core death metal, then it's not real metal. Like, shut the fuck up. MVS caught that. Whoa, it was bobbled for a bit, and then it looked like the Ravens were trying to rip it out of his hands, but instead it is caught, and it is a first down, 13-yard gain from Rodgers to MVS, first down Steelers. They have it down to the 39-yard line. We're all jealous of Kelce here, Lloyd. I mean, Travis Kelce is a first-ballot Hall of Fame NFL tight end who is now engaged to and will soon marry a woman who is worth over $2 billion. That's living a dream, my friend. Oh, Rodgers, deep ball, incomplete. Deep shot on first down, did not hit. 2nd and 10 upcoming. I did not, Lord. You're talking to somebody with like ADHD here, so you're going to tell me, son, hey, check this guy out. I'm scatterbrained. I'm not going to get it. I don't remember. I don't even know who you're talking about. I don't know who Bruce is. So that's what I mean. I'm bad with names. You tell me one thing, it's one in one ear, out the other. I am bad with shit. I'm just ask anybody who knows me. Shit, man, I don't even answer text messages. So Warren gets the carry here on 2nd and 10. He gets about 4 yards. Well, yeah, dude. Like I said, with the Taylor stuff, and everybody's like, "Oh, I finally gave her a chance." And you know what? She's not as bad as I give. I say that with everything. Like, I remember when I was younger, the cool thing to do was to make fun of the emo bands. Like MCR and Yellow Card and Brand New and Taking Back Sunday and all that kind of shit. And I got to tell you what. Even back then, it was the guilty pleasure of mine to listen to MCR. I liked MCR, but you couldn't publicly say that because that would make you look uncool. That would make you look bad. Rodgers getting pressured, and then he's finally just going to have to hold on to the ball and eats it. And the Steelers are going to have to punt this ball away here.
But too bad your ass got sad.
And I just remember that, and I think a lot of people do that too, where it's just like, I'm the emo band. You listen to emo? Oh my god! What? That was one of my favorite jokes. It's still one of my favorite jokes is, boy, I wish my grass was an emo band so that it could cut itself. Like that. It was funny, but like that was kind of the thing. It was like you couldn't be emo because you may feel, oh yeah, so. But I liked it. I liked that music. Oh, the Ravens run into their own guy. The Steelers pick it up, and it didn't touch a Raven, so it doesn't matter. There's no flag because the Raven ran into the Raven, so Did the one Raven maybe touch it when he was trying to touch it there? That might have been. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Either way. But that's my whole thing, man, is just like I feel like I think people get caught up in that. And the other way too, like there's like people who are so dedicated to one pop star or something. It's like I'm not gonna oh my God, rock music, metal. That's so aggressive. That's so violent. I could never like I think those people need to also be like that. Or also, I mean, even pop star to pop star. There's people who's like, I will only listen to Ariana Grande. I'm not listening to anybody else. That's so terrible. Or I'm a Dua Lipa fan. And listen, let's be fair. There's a lot of Swifties out there that are like that as well. The Swifties are notorious for having some psychotic fans. Like, let's be honest. Like, we got to call a spade when we have to. You know what I mean? Like, Swifties are, and you know the Swifties we're talking about here. Not like the Pepper Jack Swifties. Like the ones that you see online that are just like straight up unhinged ones, you know, like I remember there was one from like Australia, like I want to say like 6-8 years ago or something like that was just out of her mind. Like she would make birthday cakes for Taylor's birthday. Like it was scary. So like, and there are people like that. So you have to understand that as well. But like my whole thing for the last I want to say 10 years of my life or so has been trying to unlearn that whole genre thing of just like, oh well, I'm a metalhead or something like that. I listen to only this genre of music, man. I was like, I don't. I listen to everything. I try to listen to everything. You know. Crafty says, Ravens running into each other during a fair catch pretty much encapsulates their season pretty much. Lord in the chat says, Crafty, is King putting on a voice? What do you mean putting on a voice? You've been listening to me all season. Were you with us last year, Lloyd? I'm not sure. I don't know if you were with us last year or not. But, I mean, this is what do you mean putting on a voice? What am I doing? Like, I don't know. Anyway. Renegade playing there in Pittsburgh. Well, yeah, I think you got to get rid of the genre thinking. You have to get rid of that thing and open your mind to listen to other music and realize that, you know what, you actually probably end up liking some of it. I did that with Taylor. And again, that was kind of done at the point of a gun because I was with Pepper Jack. So it was like learn to at least listen to Taylor. And even if I didn't like her, you still got to listen to her because, you know. Let's go. Lamar Jackson throws. Caught by Zay Flowers. Big gain. That goes from the 29-yard line. That's going to be a big game, but there's an injury to a Raven behind the player, offensive lineman. Andrew Voorhees, younger brother of Jason Voorhees, injured on the play. So 15-yard gain on that pass to Zay Flowers. Puts the ball up at the 44-yard line. Going to be 1st and 10 for the Ravens once Voorhees. Voorhees is walking off of the field on his own power very gingerly. Speaking of, like, honestly, I'll say this. One of my favorite bands and music to listen to, and has been for a while, is Queens of the Stone Age. I love Queens of the Stone Age. Crafty says, will Harbaugh bench Lamar Jackson for Snoop Huntley in a desperate attempt to save his job? No, you roll with the guys who brung you there in that case. You're going to live and die with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. Oh, about a 2-yard gain there for Derrick Henry. 2nd and 8 coming up from the 46. And we are at 10 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. 10 minutes in the National Football League regular season. Perhaps, maybe we'll be going to overtime. We don't know. We'll see. Lloyd, I feel like Tomlin and Harbaugh are of the same thing. They're going to have to leave. They're not going to get fired. Lamar Jackson pulls it down, tries to run, gets it to the 50, but he is violently pinballed and knocked around as Peacock's stream just is having a problem. Peacock is really such a terrible service. It is maybe the worst service out there. 3rd and 4 coming up for the Baltimore Ravens. See, me and Lloyd had the same idea. Yeah, it's just it feels like that Harbaugh and Tomlin, kind of funny that it feels like they are kind of attached at the hip, and I think they've both done so well for so long and have been there for so long. They're institutions in and of themselves. Lamar in 34, he's getting rushed. He escapes the pressure and sack. Boy, the Steelers had him back there. Throw down the field. Open Zay Flowers. Touchdown, Ravens. Oh, my, the Steelers had him for a sack. And Lamar Jackson pulls away and chucks it all the way down the field to a wide open Zay Flowers. Touchdown, Ravens. They have the lead 16-13. Oh, if the Steelers lose this game, Alex Highsmith will be punching himself in the testicles for the next few weeks. Oh, my God, they both had him. They both had him. And just like that, the Ravens with an extra point now have a 4-point lead, 17-13. Oh, my God. So the Ravens struggling all second half, not being able to get anything going. Really, since the end of the first quarter, the Ravens haven't been able to do too much. And then just one play, one strike, bang. And this is why, if you're the Steelers, man, missing on those touchdowns, missing on that, chance to have a field goal at the end of the first half, all these things come up big, and it all adds up, and here we are. 8:42 remaining in the fourth quarter. Steelers down 4, 17-13. Baltimore leads. They are just 8 minutes and 42 seconds away from being AFC North champions. Crafty says, Lamar did that deliberately just to embarrass me because I asked that question. He said, Crafty Southpaw is saying, what? You want to pull me for Snoop? All right. Sit back, watch this. And that's what Lamar went and did. So there you go, Crafty. You just got proved wrong by Lamar Jackson personally. It was personal. That was very personal. Woo! Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. We got ourselves a Sunday night football game now. And the Steelers still have 13 points, so Taylor's still going to hang out with us. Great to see you, Taylor. Thank you so much. Ah, yes, ELS, the Crafty Southpaw Jinx. That is indeed what that felt like right there. I think we can call that. Everyone wants to call announcer Jinx. I think we've got a chat Jinx there with Crafty. Crafty giving us they're going to pull Lamar for Snoop for a chance to win the game and save his job, perhaps? I'm going to direct all Pittsburgh Steeler fans' hate towards Crafty Southpaw. Lloyd says, I've called some interceptions this year. Oh, we have a kick out of bounds. Oh, big mistake from the Ravens. And that's going to give the Steelers great field position. 13th flag of the game, but Taylor's already up there, so. $8:42 remaining here for the Steelers. Down 4. Aaron Rodgers calling out, saying, "Oh, he's staying down. He's not coming." And he's right. MVS gonna get that. That's good for a 7-yard gain. 2nd and 3 upcoming. Yeah, he still got that. He broke his wrist there a couple weeks ago. And so they said he's flexing it, holding it, grabbing it on the sidelines there. But looked good on that particular play, so we'll see. Warren breaking away, just breaking tackles, still breaking tackles. Woo, this Warren kid, man, he will not be denied. He simply says, "Get the F out of my way." Lloyd says, by the way, does Mike McCarthy still have a job? I think he's on the Pat McAfee show every Wednesday or so. 15-yard run there for Warren, and we have an injured Raven kind of in a froggy position on the ground. Jaylen Warren, man, just love the way that guy runs. He's going to win an angry run scepter there. Crafty says, "Hey, Lloyd, I've called a couple of interceptions too. Then again, it was Geno, so that's kind of cheating. That's kind of cheating." Just look it on Twitter, seeing some people. ELS letting us know it is now a final. The University of Wisconsin River Falls 24, North Central 10. The University of Wisconsin River Falls are your 2025 NCAA Division III national champions. Congratulations to UW River Falls, Wisconsin, the state of champions. Oh, Wiggins got hurt again. He loves talking shit, and it's the second time he's had to be helped off the field, so. .738 and counting remaining here. Steelers have 1st and 10 from the Baltimore 38-yard line. Rodgers under center. Going to be a pitch back here to Warren. Warren trying to go up the right side. He's going to get about 5 or 6 yards. Or 4. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. 2nd and 6 upcoming. Wisconsin does not claim to be a mitten. Who says that Wisconsin? Who does anybody from Wisconsin say they're a mitten? ELS. You gotta let us know. Does anybody in Wisconsin say Wisconsin's a mitten? Rodgers, play action, bootlegs out to the left, throws, caught. That's going to be Connor Hayward with the reception there. Good for about 4 yards. Sorry, 3 yards. 3rd and 3 upcoming. Down at the Baltimore Ravens 31-yard line. 3rd and 3. 6:27, 6:26, 6:25 and counting. ELS says, no, that is not what they say, so. No, like that's the thing. If you ask anybody, the mitten state is Michigan, let's be honest. Somebody moved. We got flags. They're going to call it on the Steelers. To me, it looked like the Ravens jumped over inducing it, but they're going to call the Steelers for it. Going to call it on Gainwell, so it goes from 3rd and 3 to 3rd and 8. Putting themselves in a bad situation again are the Steelers. Steelers only have 2 timeouts. They used one early on in the 3rd quarter. Aaron Rodgers here throws down the middle. Caught Freiermuth, and he's going to be down to the 6. 1st and goal. Pittsburgh Steelers 31-yard pass. Between Rodgers and Freiermuth, Steelers go and hurry up here. Play clock under 10. Steelers looked like they were going to hurry up, and then they stopped, relaxed. Play clock down to 2, to 1. And they got to use their 2nd timeout. What are we doing? Should have just hurried up. Congratulations. You played yourself. What's Michigan's actual nickname? Isn't it like the Wolverine State? Or is it something else? Isn't it like New Jersey's the Garden State, New York's the Empire State, Pennsylvania's the Keystone State, Ohio's the Shitty State. So, after the timeout, 1st and goal from the 5, they're calling this. Rodgers is in shotgun. Takes the snap. It's going to be handoff to Warren. He's going to get a yard. 2nd and goal from the 4. .450 remaining here in the 4th quarter and counting. Yeah, I knew Michigan was Wolverine State. Rodgers looks, throws. That's going to be caught by Jonnu Smith down to the 2. 3rd and goal. 2-yard gain. Rodgers is going apeshit. He is yelling at Arthur Smith. Third and goal, trips to the left. And the Steelers have to use their last timeout with 3:53 left. Holy shit. Steelers are out of timeouts. Steelers are out of timeouts. Steelers are out of timeouts with 3:53 left in the 4th quarter. Oh, what a disaster. God, Arthur Smith needs to be fired. I'm not even a Steelers fan, but Arthur Smith needs to be fired. Oh, that's right. Wisconsin's the Badger State, right? Yeah. .353, 3rd and goal, just inside the 2. Can the Steelers punch this in? Handoff, touchdown! Pittsburgh Steelers. Gainwell gets into the end zone. Do the Steelers go for 2 and make it a 4-point game? I wonder. I doubt it. You're gonna do that. By the way, no more 13s there. So Taylor comes off the board. Sorry, Taylor. She was there for a while. She was there for a real long time. Extra point upcoming here from Boswell. Snap, hold, kick is up. It is good. 20-17. Pittsburgh leads. 3:49. They have no timeouts. Baltimore has all 3, plus the 2-minute warning. That's it. Ohio's the Buckeye State. Indiana's the Hoosier State. Illinois is the corrupt state. So it's a 3-point lead for the Steelers, 3:49 remaining. It's going to be up to the Steelers' defense to hold the Ravens. Like I said, the Steelers have no timeouts. The Ravens have 3. I know there was a fight for a while between Florida and I think it's South Dakota over the Sunshine State moniker. It was even on a state flag. It might still actually be on a state flag of South Dakota that it's the Sunshine State. God, I can't talk. Kick is away here, and that's going to be caught at about the 7. Return to the 20, to the 25, to the 26. So here we go. Crowd is loud in Pittsburgh. Can the Steelers defense get a stop? Can they hold on here? We're going to find out here in just a moment. 3:43 remaining. Lamar in shotgun. Going to hand this off to Derrick Henry, who maybe falls forward for half a yard. 2nd and 9.5 coming up here for the Ravens. We got a rivalry here on Sunday Night Football. We got a rivalry between Wisconsin and Michigan happening in the chat room. We've got rivalries everywhere here to finish off the NFL season. 2nd and 9. Ravens trail by 3. 3:07 remaining and counting. Lamar's in shotgun. Play clock at 5. At 4. They do get the ball away. Lamar has time, throws over the middle. That's going to be caught by the fullback, and that's going to be real close to a first down. First catch of the year for Patrick Ricard, the fullback. Going to be good for 9 yards, and going to mark it as a first down. 1st and 10. Move the chains for the Ravens. Nope. Upon further review, instant assist there. Replay assist says it is indeed short. They say Rickard was short. So it is now 3rd and 1 coming up here for the Ravens. 3rd and 1 from their own 36. Jackson throws over the middle, wide open to Zay Flowers. There's a flag down, and he's gone. Touchdown, but we'll see what the flag is. Did they just burn the Steelers again? That's holding on the Steelers, decline. That's going to be a touchdown, Ravens. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? How in the hell, as the Steelers, do you let Zay Flowers burn you again? 64 yards this time. It was a 24-yard pass, and then Zay Flowers ran for 40 yards after that, untouched. $23-0. Extra point is up and good. That's going to be 24-0. I mean, 24-20. Nothing. 23-20. Now 24-20. And the Steelers have no timeouts, and they're down 4 points, so a field goal means nothing. Unbelievable. The Steelers' defense here, what an absolute collapse. Absurd. Absurd. We're going to check. I mean, I don't understand that. Like, that is. I've never seen that. Like, and especially when you got burned on the last one. The one thing you've got to be telling your defensive backs as a defensive coordinator, anybody, is do not let that man beat you. So now 2 minutes and 20 seconds remain. Steelers have no timeouts, and they need a touchdown. Crafty says Lamar wasn't doing shit until I got on his ass. So I expect Ravens fans to give me full credit when they actually win. We'll see. Baltimore, they're not taking a chance with this going out of bounds or anything like that. They just kick it straight out of the back of the end zone. Give the Steelers the ball at the 35. Woo! This is it. This is the final possession for the Steelers. It's this or nothing. Throws over the middle. That's going to be caught by Calvin Austin. Gets across the 50 to the Ravens' 48-yard line, 1st and 10. And that's going to bring us down to the 2-minute warning. We got 2 minutes left here in the National Football League regular season, folks. 2 minutes. Do the Steelers have a miracle finish left in them? Or will the Ravens hold on and emerge victorious here in the AFC North Championship game? We're going to find out here in just a few moments. Lloyd in the chat says, let's go Ravens. Speaking of which, yeah, I'm going to check. We should probably check in on Chip in the rubber room, see how my man is doing. So here we go. 2 minutes left. Can the Steelers pull off a miracle here? We're back to action. Steelers have the ball at the Ravens' 49-yard line, 1st and 10. They just crossed midfield. They have no timeouts. First and 10, Rodgers in shotgun. Rodgers steps back, looks, throws to his left. That's going to be caught. Thielen with the reception. Going to be about an 8-yard gain. Forward progress. 2nd and 2 from the 41. Clock is running. 1:39, 38, 37. Rodgers takes the snap. Dumps it off to Gainwell out of the backfield. He breaks a tackle, gets a first down and more. Down to the 26-yard line. First down. Clock is running, but plenty of time for the Steelers. 122, 121, 120. We are at 110. 1st and 10 from the 26. Rodgers back. Looks, throws. He's just going to throw that one away. Incomplete. 2nd and 10. 1:03 remaining. Clock stops. Rodgers throws over the middle, off the fingertips, incomplete. Looking for a flag as Thielen does not get one. 3rd and 10, 1 minute remaining. Yeah, I did see that ELS. I think that's no, it's not. That could. I think that might be Flocka. I forget who. We got a couple Seahawks fans there in the rubber room. So here we go. 3rd and 10. 1 minute exactly on the clock. Rodgers throws wide open. Caught. Touchdown. Calvin Austin. And the Steelers get it. Not the Ravens. That's the Steelers touchdown. Oh, my. And the Steelers jump back on top. 26-24. Ravens still have all 3 timeouts, ladies and gentlemen. 55 seconds left. Boy, oh boy, this fourth quarter has been a heavyweight fight. Haymaker for haymaker here. Snap, hold, kick is wonky, and it's no good. Oh, no. Oh, no. So all the Ravens now have to do is get in field goal range to win the game. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. What a disaster. What an absolute disaster. I am in shock. I am in shock. And that right there, that could be the season where the Ravens could win by 1 point. Because all they have to do is get in field goal range now. Unbelievable. I am gabbing and flastered and flabber of gasted. I am flabbergasted and gabberflasted. I just woo, grab onto your butt cheeks, ladies and gentlemen. 55 seconds left. Mitchell from the 5. He gets it up to the 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Jesus Christ. This game's pretty much over already. They're 15 yards away from field goal range. All 3 timeouts. Bulls on their own 48. It's just, oh my God. Unbelievable. First and 10 from the 47. Jackson looks, throws, caught, out of bounds is Walker. 43 seconds left, out of bounds, so the clock stops. 7-yard pass, 2nd and 3. The ball's at the Pittsburgh 45-yard line. Second and 2. We got flags down here. Andrews with the catch, first down for now, but we'll see what the flag is. Illegal formation on the Ravens, moving back 5 yards. 39 seconds remain. Woo! Makes it 2nd and 8. Puts the ball back at the 50. 39 seconds remaining. Baltimore has all 3 timeouts. I know I'm saying that over and over again, but it's good to do. Lamar takes the snap. He's got time. He's got time. He's got time. He's going to pull it down. Now he just kind of chucks it out of bounds. Incomplete. 31 seconds remaining. 3rd and 7 from the 50. I'm not even a Steelers or Ravens fan, but my goodness. High drama here to finish this season off. Play clock at 2. At 1, the Ravens get it off. They're getting pressure on Lamar. He doesn't get sacked. He gets away. He's not getting away this time. Now he just chucks it out of bounds. Incomplete. 4th and 7. 21 seconds remaining. This is the game. 4th and 7. 21 seconds. Lamar's got to tie his shoes. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, if you're a Steelers fan. Oh, boy. If you release a fart right now, you might just rocket yourself up to the ISS right now. Ravens are going to take a timeout here. Woo! Fourth and 7, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Play of the game. 4th and 7. 4th and 7 from the 50. Play clock under 10. Lamar takes the snap. Lofts it up. Caught by Isaiah Likely down to the 21-yard line. And the Ravens take a timeout with 12 seconds left. Unbelievable. 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 So now if you're the Steelers, you got to hope for a block or a miss at this point. Lloyd says, kick it, don't pull a Rams. They put 2 seconds back on the clock, 14 seconds. 1st and 10 from the 22-yard line. Actually, no, that's not the 22. They have him back at the 24. So Baltimore kneels it down right in the middle of the hash. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. They take a timeout with 2 seconds left. That'll be their last timeout. No timeouts remaining for either team. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. A Boswell missed extra point might be the end of the season for the Steelers. Well, this is it for either one of these teams. The Ravens make it, they win the North. If they don't, the Steelers do. 2 seconds. The snap, the hold, the kick. It is no good! It's no good! And the Steelers win! Oh, no! Loop misses the kick, And the Steelers have won the AFC North on a missed field goal as time expires. Unbelievable. What a way to end the NFL regular season. What a way to end the NFL regular season. Unbelievable drama in Pittsburgh. The Steelers score a touchdown, take the lead late with under a minute, and miss the extra point. Boswell's first miss, only miss in the last 2 or 3 years, I think they say. Then the Ravens, on a 4th and 7 from the 50-yard line, get a play all the way down to the 24-yard line, set it up for the field goal with 2 seconds left. They're ready to go. They kick it, and Tyler Loop misses the field goal. Steelers win by 2, 26-24. Oh, my God. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Unbelievable. What a game to end the season on. Ho, ho, ho. And now the Steelers have earned the right to have the Houston Texans come to Heinz Field next week and beat the ever-loving shit out of them on Monday night. Oh, God, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say. I don't know what to say after that. I don't know if there's too much I can say after that. We got everything that we wanted there to end the NFL season. High drama, all the stakes that you could hope for, all the stakes that you could want. And in the end, it comes down to a missed extra point on one end and then a missed field goal on the other. And the Pittsburgh Steelers are your AFC North champions. They are the 4 seed in the AFC playoffs. They will take on the Houston Texans, who are the number 5 seed and have won 9 straight games and are the hottest team currently in the National Football League. Whew, let's all just take a breath here for a second. Just to remind you guys, let's just all take a breath here. Coming up next weekend, super wild card weekend. We have the Rams and Panthers on Saturday at 4:30. We have the Packers and the Bears at 8 p.m. Then on Sunday, we got 3 games. We got the Bills and Jaguars at 1. We've got the Niners and Eagles at 4:30. Maybe I'll try to get Jimbo to come to do that game with us. And, of course, then we have the Chargers and the Patriots at 8 p.m. Then on Monday night, we will have the Texans and the Steelers. We will be covering all of that. I will be doing the countdown. I will probably do it tomorrow since there's no game tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow, either that or Tuesday. I'll stay to the schedule and do it on Tuesday night. I will see. But we're going to see. I know I'm getting to the voice chat. I got to do my own thing here, ELS. Give me a second. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here on Station Sports for another great regular season. This is our second full season here on YouTube. And I just want to thank everybody who has joined us for the ride. And now, on to the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. We are done with the 2025 regular season, and we will see you for the playoffs. Countdown either tomorrow night or Tuesday night. I'll let you guys know there. And, of course, the Friday forecast as well. And maybe we'll start sprinkling some of the hockey games in here now that our weekdays, anyway, are free on Thursdays and Mondays and things of that nature. But until the countdown, where we let you know the final top 12 power rankings of the National Football League season for 2025, plus the Booty Cheeks 5, whenever that is. And, of course, ladies and gentlemen, until we see you here again for the games on Wild Card Weekend. By the way, if you want to, quick, before we get out of here, hit that like button, share the channel. You can share this video, you can share the channel, whatever you do, share us to the world, let everybody know that we exist. And if you haven't done so yet, or if this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button as we're on the road to 1,000. Now that I've got those plugs out of the way, and of course we have the link for the donation station and the merch store down in the links if you want to check that out as well. Until I see you here again for the countdown, my name is King. This has been Stay Tuned Sports. Everybody have a great rest of your Sunday evening. On to the